What's not clicking for those of us is why the outrage for this incident isn't maintained for all of the other murders that happen daily within black communities. More specifically, why do black lives only matter when they are harmed by someone white? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, if you would like to support me in any way, make sure you click those links that I have down below to do so. Thank you for joining for this video, and let's get into it. So today we will be discussing why the modern day black conservative is problematic, as well as the Buffalo Massacre and the unethical, unempathetic responses that I'm seeing from a lot of conservatives, especially black conservatives. So let's get into it. But first, let's read and address a lot of the comments that I'm seeing coming from a lot of prominent, well-known black conservatives about this Buffalo Massacre. David A. Clark Jr. said, "Wait, but black on black crime that claims more black lives than racist killings is not abhorrent to the fabric of America? Seriously? That statement by Biden alone is abhorrent to the fabric of America. All lives matter." Here's what Larry Elder had to say. Media bias. November 21st, 2021. Black man drives through Waukesha Christmas parade, kills 6, injures 62. Facebook post praised Hitler, supported Black Lives Matter, and called for violence against whites. May 14th, 2022. White man in a Buffalo supermarket shoots and kills 10, injures 3. Posted racist manifesto. Here's what Barrington Martin II had to say. What's not clicking for those of us is why the outrage for this incident isn't maintained for all of the other murders that happen daily within black communities. More specifically, why do black lives only matter when they are harmed by someone white? Vernon Jones had to say, "Want to talk about hate crimes and domestic terrorism? Don't stop with Buffalo, include Chicago. Since Friday, 5 killed, including teenagers. Waiting for Sunday's numbers. Oh, by the way, the murders didn't involve a white shooter. Do these murders count?" And also the Hodge twins, which I'm not against. Not against the Hodge twins, but this right here is just but I'll read it anyways. The Hodge twins had to say, "Did the media label the dude who drove through the crowd in Waukesha a racist black supremacist, or do they only call people racist that have white skin? Both are racial crimes. My bad. It was a car who drove through the crowd in Waukesha according to the media, not the guy behind the wheel." And here's what I have to say about all of that. First off, we are all correct in calling this massacre a hate crime, because it was. And why was it a hate crime, you might ask? Because Peyton Ginjon, the 18-year-old male who decided to go into that grocery store and kill 10 people, had a 180-page manifesto document which complained about the dwindling size of the white population. He also describes himself as a white supremacist, which are his own words. He drove hours and hours away from the community that he was dwelling in to attack this predominantly black area that he wasn't from, which he also stated in his manifesto, which was that he would target this black area specifically according to the black zip code that he looked up. He also showed up to the store wearing tactical gear and using an assault rifle, which from what I heard had the N-word painted on it. And also, 11 out of the 13 people that were shot looked like me. So don't sit here and tell me that this wasn't a racially motivated hate crime, because from the facts that I provided, it was. Secondly, I love how you all love to bring up black on black crime every time something specifically horrific happens to the black community. But you say race doesn't matter and that you don't see color. Well, the fact that you say that you don't see color is a lie, because it seems to me that that statement goes out the window anytime you discuss black people killing other black people. My question to you all is, why don't you ever discuss other races killing their own? The term black on black crime doesn't exist because every race kills their own at a higher rate than they would any other race. And that has to do with proximity and where these people live. As a matter of fact, let me give you all some statistics on how many white people kill white people versus black people killing black people. According to USA Today, it was reported in 2018 that 81% of white people were killed by other white people versus 89% of black people being killed by other black people. I looked up the stat again and basically got around the same numbers. So the percent of black people that kill black people versus white people that kill white people are around the same numbers. And they actually aren't that far from each other. They usually stay around the late 80s to early 90s percentile. Which means, like I said before, black on black crime has to do with proximity and where they live with each other. Just like white on white crime has to do with proximity. So in other words, black on black crime is a useless and stupid term that should be done away with and should just be called crime. Because just like a lot of black people are killing a lot of black people, a lot of white people are killing a lot of white people, a lot of Asians are killing a lot of Asians, a lot of Hispanics are killing a lot of Hispanics, all because of proximity and the fact that these people live with each other. Another thing is, it's absolutely crazy to me how conservatives only bring up black on black crime and that they so-called care about black on black crime anytime black people are targeted in a way that shines a light on the type of brutality that black people have been facing in this country since the times of slavery. You all simply don't care about it, or else you would be bringing it up on a regular basis or getting out into the streets in our communities and fixing the problems that you see that's going on. But be honest, you don't do it because you're scared. You're scared and out of touch with what's going on in the community, and that's just the reality. My third point I want to make is this. I hate this lie that a lot of conservatives spew when they say that black lives only matter to us when we're harmed by white people. And I hate it because it's a lie. It's absolutely false. And why is this false, you might ask? Because there are many organizations in each state designated to stopping some form of violence within the community. And the majority of these organizations are ran by black people. I'll give you one example actually. There is an organization right where I live in my hometown called Let Your Voice Be Heard. You can actually look them up on Instagram. You can message them, ask them about their organization, ask them to talk to you about it. But this one specifically, they get out on the street, they do the work, and they are very vocal about the killings that are going on within our community. They even throw events to try to get the kids off the streets anytime something horrific is going on, or just in their daily lives. So it's not that these people aren't active in calling out the violence that's going on in the community, because they do call it out. They do get active on the streets and they do care. It's the fact that you all don't know about these organizations and how they're getting active on the streets because you aren't here. You aren't putting in the work in the black community to stop the violence that's going on. You don't know about it because you simply aren't here. You're in your white picket fence neighborhood talking behind a screen and complaining about black on black crime instead of being in the trenches where I am and where other black people are, calling out the violence that's being done in our communities. Because we're actually here. You aren't, but we are. We're actually facing what's going on daily in the community while you're in your white picket fence home complaining behind a screen about black on black crime. So don't act like you care about what's being done over here, because if you did, you would be here. Now, when it comes to all of these responses that are being given by conservatives, and especially black conservatives, concerning this massacre, I am disappointed and quite frankly disgusted. This massacre just happened. It hasn't even been a week yet. And there are real human beings who had real families who were murdered. They're gone. They're not here anymore. They're dead. But all you all can talk about is black on black crime, and you guys don't say Black Lives Matter unless you're killed by a white person. Why in the world can y'all not just wish these families, wish the people who are in the ground, who are dead, wish them rest in peace? Why can't you just do that and put politics aside for just a minute? As a matter of fact, here are the names of the victims who were murdered in this massacre, because we're going to say their names and you all are going to listen. Pearl Young, 77 years old. Ruth Whitfield, 86 years old. Geraldine Tolley, 62 years old. Aaron Salter, 55 years old. Hayward Patterson, 67 years old. Marcus Morrison, 52 years old. Catherine Macy, 72 years old. Roberta Drury, 32 years old. Celestine Chaney, 65 years old. And Andre McNeil, 53 years old. These are the people who were murdered by someone hateful. These are the people. These were people's mothers, grandmothers, aunties, uncles, grandfathers, fathers, cousins, nieces, and nephews. These were actual people who were murdered during this massacre. But all you guys can think of and all you guys can say is, what about black on black crime? All you guys can say is, oh, you guys only care about black lives when white people kill you guys. All you guys can say is, oh, what about Chicago? Instead of honoring the victims who were murdered, who had no ill intentions towards this man, and now are in the ground. Have some empathy. Take the time to put politics aside and honor the victims who were murdered. Take some time to do that. Put politics aside and take the time to do that, because that's the least you can do to honor these people. These are people's family members, and all you guys can think of is politics. Very disappointing, very weird, very unethical. And not making any sense. But you guys act like you care when it comes to pro-life issues, which I'm pro-life, you know, I'm pro-life. But you act like you care when it comes to pro-life issues. You act like you care about black people when it comes to pro-life issues, but you don't. You don't. And that's just the plain truth. And in times like this, we should be coming together as a nation and condemning violence on the national level. But I see people can't even do that. You can't even do that. It's all about politics with you guys. It's like you aren't even human beings. You don't have any empathy. Like are you all about facts and not about feelings? I understand when the term or the phrase facts before feelings was said, because I understand what it means when it comes to that. But in times like this, you need some sort of empathy, because that's what human beings do when it comes to innocent people being murdered. But I see you all can't do that. You can't remove your talking point mask for just a minute, because there's a certain demographic that you all have to please and have to make money off of in order to stay relevant. And I guess that's just the way things are, because you guys will sell out for a piece of money that might not even be valuable in the next few years. It isn't even backed by silver or gold, but yet you're selling out your people, showing no empathy towards your people. People who look like you, because you need to please a certain demographic, make them happy with what you say, to make some sort of money off of them. Sad, unethical, but that's the way things are, so I guess we have to deal with it, right? So from the information that I have presented and gathered during this video, here's my problem with the modern day black conservative. You all lack empathy when it comes to your own community. You're out of touch. You say you care about the community, but only mention us when it comes to crime being done within the community. And the messaging that you present on your platforms don't work when it comes to drawing black people over to becoming conservative or even to becoming Republican. So if you all don't fix your approach in the way that you talk to black people, you're going to keep losing elections, you're going to lose the black vote, and you're not going to have black people's attention when it comes to your conservative values. And even when it comes to, if you're Republican, even when it comes to voting Republican, because of how hateful that you guys are in times like this. And I wish that you guys would see that. I wish that you would stop blaming the Democrat Party for everything and start blaming yourselves, because a lot of the times it's your fault as well. Two sides of the same coin is the reason that you're hated by black people. Democrats are hated by black people, Republicans are hated by black people, conservatives are hated by black people, liberals are hated by black people. Two sides of the same coin, two wings on the same bird. You're all to blame for why black people won't listen to you and why black people won't come around. Not just one side, both sides. So what are my suggestions? Again, fix your approach, have more empathy, fix your messaging, listen to understand and not to argue. Is that hard for you guys to do? Again, listen to understand and not to argue. And get into the community. get in these trenches and come do the work. But of course, you don't have to listen to little old 23-year-old me who's still in the community and in the trenches, who still doesn't have an easy life, who still doesn't have a white picket fence life. Yeah, me. Of course you don't have to listen to me. But me, I have the formula when it comes to getting black people to listen, getting black people to understand what I'm saying. I came a long way from where I was at. I used to be like you guys. I used to be like a lot of the modern day black conservatives that you're seeing being propped up on national television, spewing these things that aren't helping the black community to actually come around. Yeah, I used to be one of you guys. But once I learned how to message and really started listening to people in my community, that's when I knew I had to change what I was saying. I had to have some sort of empathy, because I'm a human being at the end of the day, and so are people in the black community. We're not some savages, what you guys paint us out to be. We're not some savages. We're not deadbeats. We're not all single mothers, you know. We're human beings and we matter as well. So either you can listen to what little old me has to say, or continue to lose and not get the messaging across that you want to get across in order to win. But it's up to you. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Please don't forget again to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, if you would like to support me in any way, make sure you click the links that I have down below in order to do so. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.